They think that this entrepreneurship, it's something rosy. I want to have this business. I want to recruit many people under me, but nobody understands what's happening in the back end.
The pain.
You just see everything from the top, but you don't understand how the seeds inside under the ground, it's being done. It's very painful.
Welcome, Ahmed Khaled. Ahmed is a friend, but he also works at Unilever, which is the British multinational for consumer goods company, and also the founder and the host of the Unleash podcast. But this fear stopped you from being consistent or not?
It's about just being on the cliff, right?
Welcome back, Alphas, to a new episode of the Alpha Talks podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, an Alpha. This man is a corporate guy. He's an entrepreneur. And most importantly, he's a friend. So I want to introduce Ahmed to the Alpha Talks podcast. Welcome, Ahmed Khaled.
Thank you so much.
Ahmed is a friend, but he also works at Unilever, which is the British multinational for consumer goods company, and also the founder and the host of the Unleash podcast, which is one of my favorite, where he brings guests to unleash their stories to inspire and impact all the individuals that watch. So I want to welcome Ahmed to the Alpha Talks podcast. Welcome. And the most important thing is what? Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much for hosting me today. And honestly, I was not expecting this amazing surprise. And I didn't have it even in my company. And I felt like a big cake. Thank you so much really for hosting me.
Pleasure. You're a friend. You know that. You're a very close friend. But Ahmed, before we start the talk, let's say, for example, if someone just went on Spotify or YouTube or whatever platform and saw the title of the podcast and the thumbnail and the photo, and he got interested, tell me or tell them why they should spend their time and watch this episode. Why do you think that?
Actually, it's a nice question and it's interesting question. Look at my story. It started from really non-clarity, but I had something inside me. You know, at the beginning, you feel that I need to do something, but I don't know from where to start. And these thoughts, it was in my mind since a long time that I want to inspire people, but I don't know from where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, you know, you're driven just to help people. But the only thing that I thought about before inspiring people, you have to inspire yourself firstly, right?
True.
And if you want people to change, right, you have to change yourself firstly. Because most people, if you see people that I want to help people, I want to inspire people, but people will never listen to you unless they see that there is a change in you.
You know, that there is a statement that says, I can't make you happy unless I am happy. I can't make you successful unless I'm successful.
Exactly.
Absolutely correct.
So from that moment, I thought, in order to inspire people, I need to inspire myself. And to inspire myself, I need to start something that I'm loving and I'm passionate about. And at the beginning of my journey, I thought to start from my power.
So tell us a little bit about your story, like a little bit, going back from the corporate time. Then I saw that you launched a couple of podcasts. So the Unleash is not the only one. There was one before. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Definitely. So again, at the beginning, look, my story started by a pitfall, you know, when I felt at a certain point of time that I'm stuck in my career and in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get a promotion in my career, but I felt stuck. And I was blaming everyone around me. I was blaming the situation. I was blaming the company. I was blaming the managers. I was blaming everyone around me. But I've never blamed myself or think that in order to get a step ahead, I need to work on myself.
True.
And for a moment in my life, I thought, how can I start something that I can help people with? And I'm passionate about it at this time, which was my power, which was supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
And like 5 years back, I applied for many jobs, okay, because I was stuck. Mm-hmm. And every time when I apply for a job, I had like an auto rejection, you know.
I just apply, it's a rejection comes in.
Just before even you think I go for an interview, and you stay with people and you think that you did your best and you're amazing, and after like 5 minutes you have an auto rejection over the email. And it doesn't happen like one time or 2 times or 3 times. It happens a lot of times. But at this moment, I don't know, it was like a wake-up call for me. Maybe they're not wrong, right? Because, you know, these thoughts in your mind, you say, okay, listen, maybe he doesn't want me because if I go there, I have a lot of experience. Maybe they're afraid. And you know, these water cooler chatters in your mind, yeah, to make yourself calm. But at this moment, when I reflected, there was a spark inside me. No, they're not wrong. I need to change something in myself. So what I have done, I had a crazy idea at this moment. I was asking one of my friends to help me with building my CV in that time. And it's an interesting story because I want to apply and I want my CV to be, and he started to help me in building my resume. But after getting this fancy CV, I thought, why can't I share some experience on LinkedIn instead of just giving like a bait for people, or just giving them my CV and chasing them? Why don't I share values inside me, experience? And I don't need, you know, to have books.
On a social media platform like
my
LinkedIn.
Experience, my thoughts, my voice about something. And the only thing that I have had at this time, it was supply chain, because again, as I said, it's my power. I thought I can help people by this way. And I do remember that
What was the year?
It was 2019. It was end of 2019. And I was afraid, honestly, about the idea. I bring
what you were afraid of?
Look,
the opinions of people, that you will not add judgment.
Judgment, definitely. Because again, in our region, I'll be very frank with you, most people on LinkedIn, when they post something, the perception from people around them that they say, okay, he's posting something, then he's looking for a job, which I was. There is no problem about it. But by momentum, it's not just about jobs. It's about the experience, the values, the inspiration, the impact that you leave in the people. But at this moment, I was afraid from my manager and afraid from the company, how they would perceive me. Because by this way, you're another job, you know.
LinkedIn, of course, you're looking for a job.
I need to inspire anyway. I need to inspire and I need to move, take control of my life. So what I have done at that time, I bring like Microsoft Word, even not article. I didn't know anything, even how to write article on LinkedIn. But you know, I opened Microsoft Word and I wrote something around innovations. Still have this, if someone just listened to us.
Innovation in supply chain.
Innovations, yes, in supply chain. How to build innovation, especially for a product, how to build the volumes of the products, how to build what are the drivers behind it, how to build it bottom up from a channel or from a category perspective.
Very nice.
So, and what are the drivers? It's not just about the volumes, it's about the values and how we put the promotion. Build everything. I put it in like 4 papers. Okay, in Microsoft Word. I put everything by my voice. Map it, finish it. Then what happened? I stayed, saved it. And, you know, I was
waiting to hit.
I hit it, but I remember, even anybody is listening, they can come on the first post on my LinkedIn. You will see it. I was writing like, dear LinkedIn family, like email, you know, formal.
Email approach, yeah. And coming from a corporate guy.
Exactly. Dear LinkedIn family, here is my first blah, 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 like this. Best regards, Ahmed Khaled, you know, like this, I swear. And the interesting thing, before I post this, I was afraid, as I told you, but I said, listen, I'll do it. Post it. Okay. After 1 hour, I swear, I still do remember this. I found like maybe 18 messages from people I don't know them. Maybe they're second messages inbound from LinkedIn, people that I don't know them. And this article that I was writing, it was very basic. There's nothing, you know, too much that I didn't put too much values on it. And I was thinking in that moment that this is nothing for me, right? Nothing. And people maybe receive. When I received these questions from people, I realized that at this moment, my nothing could be everything to somebody else.
Yeah, yes. True.
And this has inspired and ignited fire inside
The
me
light
that,
bulb
yes,
went on.
I want to help people. I want to inspire. If there is nothing, I have a lot. So I started to write more and more and more and more articles. Then I started to understand how to write in a storytelling way, how to inspire people. Blah, blah, till a moment that I start to master the writing skill, but I was afraid to move into the next level. I want to speak.
But this fear stopped you from being consistent or not?
Not at all. Not at all.
So you kept going after it, writing article after article after article.
100%. And I'm telling you, there was an opposition. People will oppose you. And I have my close friends, they were opposing me. Ahmed, don't do this.
What are you doing? You're
yes, what are you doing? Man, your manager will look, don't do this because your company will look at you from another perspective, which is, with my respect, it's bullshit. It's real bullshit. You cannot listen to people. If you have something inside you and they have values, come and share it. Don't be afraid.
True. You're always, we say like the world has billions. There are always people wanting the information that you're sharing.
100%.
So that's
just to start, people, they are afraid to start. True. And just to ignite the first start. I'm always telling people, you don't need to be the best to start, but you have to start to be better.
You know, it's a good thing because, you know, when the people jumps from parachutes from the plane, that's also a fear. Nobody's jumping from a plane with no fear. But as we always say, that fear is just an illusion. It's not real. It's exactly the same. When I believe what you did to post the first article was simply to shut off your mind for a couple of seconds while you were clicking send. That's exactly what people do when they're jumping from a parachute. They just shut down, throw themselves out, and it's done.
And as you said, I remember when we spoke, you told me about this. It's about just being on the cliff, right? Jump and assembling your aeroplane while you're jumping.
Exactly. No way back.
Yes.
No way back.
This is the right mindset.
There is one thing about your character I love, Ahmed. You're very helpful. And you do it from the heart with no intentions of getting something in returns. Tell me why being helpful to people, you have it in that way, and why it's important for people to have this kind of character attribute to be helpful.
I wouldn't say... when I give something, I'm telling you, when I help someone, it's my source of fulfillment, honestly. When I see someone that I give maybe information, I give value, I give something in return, maybe some thought or some story even, or some advice you can give, and I see that person, his or her mind changed, it's for me better than $1 million, I swear to God. But if you ask me how it's built, I don't know. But I was raised with my family. All my families are the same. My brother, my sister, my mother, my father, they're all the same.
I believe as well, Ahmed, like if a person wants to be successful, he cannot be selfish. You need to help other people to be successful as well. And that's, and you know, in our culture, when we say we share the honey, even the honey, it's not only in a monetary form, it's in a form of I'm providing you information. I am helping you to get something that you want. So that's why that's one of the things that I really appreciate in our relationship, that you're extremely helpful gentleman.
Same.
And I believe that's one of the main attributes to be a real alpha. Let's move a little bit to your corporate life.
Yes, please.
And a lot of people talking about corporate. So let's a little bit deep dive and say, what are some challenges that people can face? A lot of people are watching us now and they might be thinking, should I go to corporate or should I do my own business? Okay, what kind of challenges did Ahmed face in corporate world?
Look, not all people, if you're talking about, can be an entrepreneurs. Okay, let's agree on that.
True.
And not entrepreneurs can be corporate guys.
True.
It's the same. But when some people, they come and ask me about how to be an entrepreneur, it's not just a position, it's a mindset. And if you don't have this mindset, and if you don't have the passion, really, it's not just about the money. It's about how to solve a problem and how to help people and how to be passionate on solving this problem.
And persevere. Like you also need to make it happen.
Exactly. It's not, most corporate guys, most corporate people, they think that this entrepreneurship, it's something rosy. And I want to have this business. I want to recruit many people under me. I want to drive this car. I want to watch this but nobody understand what's happening on the back end.
The pain that
A lot of pain, and nobody understand. Maybe you just see everything from the top, but you don't understand how the seeds inside under the ground it's been done. It's very painful. Most people, they think that entrepreneurship it's something easy and rosy.
Do you think that's the issue of social media?
It's about how you position yourself on social media.
No, I mean like what like the young generations are looking at the social media and seeing like all these flashy things, the best cars, the best watches,
Yeah.
So they correlate it right away. That's I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to
be the same like this.
Exactly, have the same lifestyle. I don't think social media is portraying entrepreneurship in the right way. I would love to see an entrepreneur getting out on social media and showing the failures. You know, you fail too much before you get successful.
100%.
So I believe social media has an impact on this.
Again, it's about how you position yourself. Like yourself, when you speak about the failures, and your podcast here bring people and they share their struggles. It's not just about the success.
True.
Because I believe on something that people will never believe your success unless they see your struggles. Never.
True.
Yeah, this is how you inspire people. And see, most and the best speakers on the world, they come on the stage and they don't brag about their success. They come and share their failures as a learning, and people listen to them. This is how you connect.
Pain.
Yes, how you connect with people.
Absolutely. You know, one thing when you started answering this question and you said, not everyone has to be or should be an entrepreneur. So let's zone in on this particular topic, because I have a saying that I like to say, if everyone becomes an entrepreneur, all the companies should shut down. Correct? So being an entrepreneur requires a little bit set of skills and DNA and mindset and. What do you recommend people? Start in an entrepreneurship journey right away, or start in a corporate world and then move and test and decide? What's your opinion on that?
There is nothing right or there is nothing wrong. Our story is different. Our background is different. Our beliefs is different. But I can share my personal story. It's if you want to be real successful entrepreneur, okay, this is my advice. You can start in a corporate and do something that you want to build your business on. Go in this function, and don't just go inside this function and move the wheel. Yes, learn the process and learn how to connect with people. Know the problems and the pains inside this. Build it. Because most people, when they come as a corporate mindset, they are trying to have more repulsion from, and they get away from the problems.
True.
Right? But you see, people that they are in corporate life and they want to be an entrepreneurs, they spotlight on the problems.
Absolutely.
And they build business around it.
True.
My advice to people, especially for fresh grad or something, stay for a time, have this sense of clarity. I don't say that you need to be clear 100%, but if you have this sense of entrepreneurship, be a little bit clear about something that you are passionate about. Get inside a corporate, because you will learn for free.
True.
Right? When you learn for free, the mistake that you'll have, it will not cost you too much money if you do it in your entrepreneurship. Because
we were sitting before going on air or recording, we were talking about this particular thing. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I totally agree with you, because getting into the corporate world, first of all, it teaches you many things. It teaches you how you see the process, the systems, how the business model works, all these things. You build the network, you build the connections. These are the things that you leverage when you leave and becoming an entrepreneur. So your recommendation, my advice as well, is to let people to try. Not everybody is built to be an entrepreneur, and not everyone is built to be in a corporate environment.
100%.
You need to try, but the corporate side gives you advantages. Learn from it and learn from it for free.
For free.
Absolutely. Let's move a little bit to another side of Ahmed. Ahmed lived in different countries.
Yes.
Tell me how we share the same thing. So tell me how this shaped Ahmed's character, mindset, and how helped him to be successful. Living in different countries, different cultures, dealing with different people.
Actually, I have never thought also at the time that maybe I'll leave my country, Egypt. But it's an interesting story. at a certain point of time also I was stuck
Mm.
and in my career, and there was it comes, you don't plan anything, but it comes. I know it's from God, but at this time when I decided to move out of Egypt, I was taking, let's say, X salary in Egypt, and I was offered by another company in Dubai here 13x.
Oh, proof.
You can understand. Yeah, I stayed
There
with
is
my
no
family.
decision.
And I wanted to build myself. Definitely, money was a big factor at that time, And I want to have my home. I want to build my assets, stuff, all of this stuff. So I was thinking, okay, in Dubai, good country. I want to go there, and I want to move there. I accepted the offer, but in Dubai, 13x,
X.
maybe it's half X what you have it in Egypt because of the cost itself. Country, it's amazing.
True.
The opportunity, it's amazing. But if you talk about how it shapes me, I start to rely on myself too much. Before, in Egypt, how we are family, very family oriented, and we are very close. The moment that I left my country, I felt I missed something, but I know on the other end that it will build something inside me.
True.
That I start relying on myself, and I'm doing this for a reason, not just for something. I start to be open. I start to connect with people more because I was introvert at the beginning. I was
really?
very introvert. Yeah, 2019, I was introvert. People were claiming me that I had communication skills. I couldn't speak. But I worked on myself. So at this time, my character shaped hugely
by the international exposure.
Yes, exposure, seeing different beliefs and religion, culture, environment, infrastructure, organization, a lot of things that I've gained. And this, and also that also there was a barrier. When you stay in a company for a long time, it's not easy to move out. So I crossed or just crashed two barriers. One is the country. Second one is the company, because I left the company.
True.
So changed a lot of things in my life.
One interesting thing that I hear a lot of people talking about, the American dream, the American dream, the American dream, but not being biased or not, there is the Dubai dream.
Yes.
Dubai dream. Dubai provides a lot of opportunities for people to grow. So that's why I do respect this place very much.
I have never seen a country that encourages entrepreneurship like Dubai.
Totally agree.
With minimal amount of money, you can have a trade license.
True.
And you can pursue your dream if you have a passion.
And they're welcoming everyone, the number of visas available for everyone. Everyone can live and work, study. It's make it very comfortable. One interesting thing about living in different countries, which you touch upon, is that when you live in different cultures, different countries, it changes your mindset. It changes, makes you more responsible. But one of the most important thing is when you live in different cultures, it raises your emotional intelligence.
100%.
And I do believe personally that emotional intelligence is extremely important for any person's success. And this comes from the exposure that you have living in different countries, different cultures, dealing with different people. So that's a thing that we both had. Yes, it comes with its own cost. As you said, you left your home, you left your comfort zone, your family, your friend, but it built you to the person that you're in right now.
It was hard. It was hard, 100%. But again, it's a choice. I keep saying that it's a choice. And if I come back with time, I will do the same, because it was not just I crashed it one time in Dubai, and when I went for another country. I went for Saudi Arabia, had another exposure, meet new people, meet new friends, and another culture. It was from another perspective, and a lot of things from another perspective. This is how we deal with the situation. So I keep saying maybe something that has changed in my mind is adaptability.
Adaptability.
How to adapt.
And be able to pivot. And I think this also, it's a great lesson.
Yeah.
Let's go for a break. Ahmed, tell me a little bit about your podcast, the Unleash podcast. What's your vision with it?
My vision is, at the beginning, to be honest, I didn't have like a clarity on my vision, but I thought you cannot be successful alone, right? And you cannot inspire people alone. But I loved this model of, opera, right? Opera, she had a big fame, not only by herself, right? But she is interviewing people, bring them on the same table, and let them speak about their stories and about struggles and about inspiration, about their values. So my vision in my podcast is unleashing the human greatness to be exposed to the sunlight and change the planet. How? By bringing SEIF, the Alpha, by bringing Muhammad, by bringing Joe, by people that they really leave an influence on this planet, like entrepreneurs, like CEOs. And I'm not just captivating about positions, but I believe that those people, they had acquired a lot of struggles in their life, that they will be able to share their stories and inspire people.
And I believe the best thing that you do, Ahmed, actually, it is when you get different people and everybody has a story, these stories resonate with people much more than a textbook where you tell you do
yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. And I know I'm a strong believer of, yes, we're different people, but we don't have actually totally different stories. Our stories overlaps in a way or another, in a different form, but overlaps. So when you share your story, and especially if you share a pain that I have, and you can tell me how can I get out of it, it makes an absolute impact on me. So that's why I do love your podcast very much. And I will encourage you to keep going and killing it with all the guests that you have.
My pleasure.
Let's move to another one. To the mindset. I'm a very strong believer of the mindset. It's one of the components of being successful. I want to ask Ahmed, what kind of strategies do you do that can, I would say, help you to avoid what we call it our negative self-beliefs, which is the things that hold us back?
Self-doubt will be there, right? Because we're human, right? You will be attacked by negative emotions, by self-doubts and setbacks, and sometimes you would need to raise the white flag on yourself. But again, it's not just about the negative emotions. Negative emotions, because we are human, it will be there. It's about how you control it, the process that you control. And I keep saying that if you want to change your mindset, don't start just by reading books. Don't start just by going for classes, seminars, webinars. If you want to change your mindset, change the people that you are surrounded with firstly.
True.
90% from our core beliefs and our decisions and our thoughts, it comes from the people around us. So if you're surrounded with mediocre people, don't expect that you will not be mediocre. You will be with them. Absolutely. In their tribe. If you're surrounded with people that they're influential, they are inspiring, they are innovative, they are giving, they are very influential and inspiring people, you will be with them. Absolutely. So if you want to change your mindset, be with those people.
Change the people, change the environment. You said something very important that I would like to stress it, because you said we are humans, which means we have emotions. Yes, when somebody laughs at you, when somebody gives you a negative comment, you get affected. Yes, we are human. So when people see us that we're successful as if we're super bulletproof, this is not true. We're humans at the end. Allow yourself to be a little bit down. But what I always like to say to people, it's how you take the time for the recovery. Like, I would say like 10 years back, when somebody tells me a negative opinion or tell me something sarcastic, it can take me a week to recover, right? But if somebody hits me with a negative opinion or a negative or a sarcasm thing, it's going to take me 20 minutes to get back.
You control this by you.
Exactly. You shorten your recovery time.
And you know what? It's about how your skin comes like crocodile, you know, by time.
The thick skin.
Yes, it's maybe like elephant. Because
skin.
The more that you got hit from outside, the more you become stronger.
Absolutely.
We will be just bombarded by doubts. We will be bombarded by negative emotions again, because we're human.
Even self-doubts.
Yes, you will. Even you're successful, because we are human. You cannot just, I would say, control the negative emotions to stop it.
True.
You cannot stop it, but you can control
it. Let's give a little bit of advice to the people from Ahmed perspective as well. Being an entrepreneur, you face a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles. That's something that we live with. There is no, sometimes we say that we are kind of firefighters. Like every day you're putting off fire. So what kind of things that you do in face of all these challenges and obstacles to maintain your winning spirit, your positive mindset? What do you do? You face challenges every single day. What kind of things or advice would you give?
My why. Always the reason. Without reason, you will perish. Okay, as we spoke about the negative emotions, and we know that entrepreneurship, it's not just a straight line. It's ups and downs. And if you don't have a real reason for doing what you're doing, I'm telling you, from the first hit, first barrier,
you're running.
From first obstacle, you will raise the white flag on yourself, and they will say, like most people say, it's not working. It will never work. But what will keep you always in the game is your why, your reason. Why I'm doing this. Once I feel down, sometimes I feel down. I'm human, right?
True.
I always look at my board. I put it in my home. Why I'm doing this. And once I look at this, I get energized and I come back.
You keep moving. Absolutely. There is so for the people watching us, one of the greatest books, I believe, about why, and I recommend that everybody reads it. It's by Simon Sinek, Know Your Why. It's a great book with that regards. Absolutely. Let's move one step further. About the comfort zone. Everybody speaks about the comfort zone, getting out of the comfort zone. Can you share with us one instance in your life that you stepped out of your comfort zone and it really made a positive impact on you, on your life, on your career?
The story that I would say, it was like maybe 4 years back. Okay, when as I spoke about LinkedIn, when I started on LinkedIn, I was very good in writing, right? But I was afraid to come and speak. You know, it's easy when you write something. You are just writing and then erasing, deleting.
Yeah.
You take a long time because you will try to be perfect while writing everything. Because nobody knows what you're writing on the back end. You can write, take your time, and be the best of yourself. But I wanted to really go into another level, which is beyond my comfort zone. Because again, most people around me, they told me that I couldn't communicate well. I cannot tell a story. I cannot tell or just express myself. I cannot express my beliefs.
It's a skill that you need to develop.
I took it as a challenge. I was with my wife and was in Saudi Arabia. And while I was writing, I had like crazy idea. I was staying in my sofa and I wanted to speak. So I didn't have anything in my mind at that time except one idea. I told my wife when I was on sofa, come with me. She told me where. I told her, let's go. I went, I drove the car to the nearest camera place. Digital place, lighting. And I went there and I bought one camera, DSLR camera, and one mic and one ring light. I came back. I didn't know anything about,
how to set it up
at all, zero. So I stayed like 1 week on YouTube just to learn this skill and writing. And I started to get, okay, how to write something because I wanted to speak in front of the camera. I scripted a lot of things and I nailed this skill of camera and the editing, ISO, aperture and all of this and the camera itself and the lighting itself. And I wrote like one script. I do remember it was like maybe 150 words, like 1 minute, if I do remember. And I swear, I opened the camera. I keep always saying this story because I will never forget it. Changed my life drastically. I opened the camera, okay? I pressed record and I take this paper. I read it. While finishing reading, start to memorize everything. I look at the camera like this and everything vanished.
Completely gone.
No memory, like fish memory. I go like this.
Gone.
I will speak about something. I just say 2 words and then stuttering. Look back again. look at the camera, close the camera again, and look at this, memorizing. I want to say these words fully. So I come back again, record, press, look at this again. I said like
Everything gone.
7 hours.
No way.
I swear, well, 7 hours. 7 hours to record 1 minute.
But that's persistence.
Can you imagine this? But after finishing, my energy got drained. I said to myself after finishing, my wife, she was with me. She told me, cannot. I asked her to help me on that. She got fed up. 7 hours. Yeah. It doesn't make sense, even weekend.
But you remember this moment.
I will never forget. Yeah. I will never forget.
It how made you Ahmed now with all these podcast talks, interviews.
It changed totally my life because it's a skill. I keep saying it's a skill. This has helped me to be a good storyteller. This has helped me to frame my thoughts. This has helped me to coach and put all my ideas in one paper and help people. This has helped me to speak good. This has helped me to express myself.
The problem is what a lot of people, when they come, for example, to this instance, as you were in, you said 7 hours. They just quit after 2 hours.
I'm telling you, not anybody can go into that journey.
That's why we just keep telling people that, guys, be persistent. Keep going after what you're doing. Everything in life can be learned, but you need to put the time and the effort in it.
Yes. One of the quotes that changed my life, it was from Jim Rohn. This quote, literally.
Which one?
He said that work harder on yourself than you do in your job.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Working harder in your job will make you a living.
Absolutely.
Working harder on yourself will make you a fortune.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love Jim Rohn. Is like really one of the gurus or the guru in personal development. Absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move a little bit to some practicality in entrepreneurship. If we talk the top 3 skills that you believe that any kind of entrepreneur should gain in order to be successful as an entrepreneur, what kind of skills? From Ahmed perspective again.
From my perspective, if I pick the first skill, it's the ability to learn and to learn very quickly. The world is moving very fast around us. And if you're not learning things very fast, you will be redundant.
Absolutely true. But let me interrupt you here for a sec, because now I see a lot of young generations, they're going into the mood of learning. And I always look at them and tell them it's not about the learning, it's about studying. Ahmed, like everything now, it's in our fingertip. You want to read about this, about that, about this, about that, but they lack the depth in it. You understand? Like, I want to learn advertising on whatever, social media. And you just like read an article about it. And you think that you learned it. No,
surface.
That's surface. You need to have depth to it. And absolutely correct about entrepreneurship. You need to know what things are going and how to learn and study a particular
topic. And go into a deeper level. I agree on that. And second one, if I keep saying that, is persistency. Because again, entrepreneurship, it will never be a straight line. You will have too much downs. And if you're not persistent, and if you don't have a critical thinking, and if you don't ask yourself the right questions, from the first slap, you will raise the white flag. Yeah, خلاص.
You're done.
It will not. So being persistent, because if you believe on the thing that you're doing, you will be persistent till it works. And one of the things that I've read from one of the great books, that in order to shift this mindset, you have to change your narrative inside. What do I mean by here? You have to change from statement into question. So you see most people in life, when they say something in their mind that I cannot do this, right? It means that you stop your mind and you keep telling yourself the story inside you, I cannot do it. Do you think that yourself and your mind will tell you, no, you can do it? Stop it. So instead of just from a statement moving to question, instead of saying I cannot, you can say, how can I?
True.
Once you open that question, you will start moving into finding answers. Maybe it will not be the best answers, but it will put you on the right way to find the answer. Maybe it will not be the first answer, second answer, third answer. This is massive shift in your mindset.
Absolutely. So you do believe entrepreneurship is mindset?
Totally mindset. Totally.
Because, if I put entrepreneurship into two things together, I would say it's a mindset and a skill set, because one of both will stop you. If you have an extreme mindset, but you're just chanting affirmations in the mirror, you will never. Or if you have extreme high skills, a talented, absolute guy, but your mindset is absolute
you find
garbage.
those people, with my respect, most corporates,
absolutely,
they are very skillful, but they don't have the mindset.
Right mindset. So we have to have the balance between both. You have to always push both together, and that will be your ceiling. The more you push your mindset up with the skills, the more you become successful. Okay, let's move to failures, because a lot of what we see about entrepreneurship these days, it's about successes. The cars, the watches, the houses, the cars, the watches, the houses. But rarely people talk about failures. Tell me the role of failure in entrepreneurship and how you handle failures.
I got depressed at the beginning, definitely. Again, because we're human, right? But I kept learning along the way. Not from the first time of failure, you will say it will not work, right? I train myself. When there is something doesn't work, I need to understand why. Because again, from the first slap, you can say it's not working. Sometimes you lack the skill, as you said, right? Don't be persistent that if I don't have this skill, I need to get it. Maybe I can free up my time and outsource to someone who's skillful and being better than me on that area, and he or she can do it for me. So how to be adaptable, and how to always focus on the things that add value for your business. At the beginning, when I was doing my podcast, and at the beginning also when I was doing my courses, well, at the beginning also when I was doing my social media, I was doing everything by my hand, totally.
True.
Shooting,
that's
editing, yes, doing everything. I understand how to do it. But this was consuming like 70% from my time. And I was moving, day by day, and I didn't ask myself, but I wanted to scale. I wanted to gain more skills. I want to inspire more people. I want to interview more people. I want to gain more equity. So I asked myself, what are those things that they're consuming my time and doesn't add value for me? So one of them is getting this editing and getting this stuff, doing it by my hand. I learned the skill. Now I outsource this
and delegate it to somebody else.
70% from my time to the team. What's happening now? I'm focusing on bringing the business to the next level.
True. We can't pass this without talking about the idea of focus. How do you put the importance of focus on being successful?
I think you're talking firstly before maybe to the wrong person. Why? Look, I have a great quote from Tony Robbins. He said that where focus goes, energy flows. And this has changed a lot of things in my mind. We are entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
You have thousands of ideas, right?
True.
And you have the passion to close this. But let's be realistic. If you have like 3-4 ideas, you will never control and you will never finish it all.
True.
In entrepreneurship, as you said, the power of focus. Focus on one thing that you are passionate about and you can give your power on and you can give your priority on. Focus on it, make it to the ceiling, give you too much effort on it, finish it, then delegate it, leave it, move to the other one. But if you open your hand,
you won't be able to do it.
You will not, and you will hate everything around you.
Did you watch the Matrix movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember the scene? Keanu Reeves was walking across the street and were all people wearing black coming opposing him, opposite. And there was one lady. What she was wearing? She was wearing a red dress. So in focus, we like to say avoid the lady in the red dress. Because in the scene, it's all people wearing in black. And this only lady, she's odd, attractive, attracts attention, wearing red dress coming across.
Focus.
And for entrepreneurs, the idea is very simple. Whether you're here or here, the lady in red dress will appear to you in whatever form. When you're starting off, the lady in red dress will be worth $1,000. I mean the opportunity. But you can say, I don't care about the $1,000. But when you grow even, this lady in red dress will be worth $100,000. But you need to have the power to focus, to say no to it.
I agree.
That's focus.
I agree. But again, it's about how to manage your energy and how to be having this sense of clarity.
Absolutely.
Because at the beginning, you have a lot of ideas, but you don't ask yourself the questions. What's your priority? What's your passion? What's your power? Pick this and don't think. Make it happen.
True. So the Alpha Talks show, the mission is to craft alphas as people and alpha businesses as well. What is the definition of alpha for Ahmed?
Unstoppable, irreplaceable, and I wouldn't say dominant, but dominant with respect.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I would say persistent, and never raising the white flag.
Mm-hmm.
This is the alpha for me.
A leader, kind of, right?
Yeah.
As well. You know, there is in leadership, when we talked about leadership, we always talk about trust and building loyalty. And it's very important for an alpha to be a leader and to be able to build trust and loyalty. Do you agree with that?
100%.
How is trust and loyalty for Ahmed?
It's number one for me. I cannot stay with someone unless we have this connection. Sometimes when you're at work, you're forced, but I don't stay for that long. Just the connection between us, it's just something I wouldn't say loyalty or trust, but it's just the between me and you work. But real people that I meet them always and my friends, if I don't factor this trust or reality and sharing the same values, I'll never stay.
You know, the best example for trust and loyalty, I take it from the army.
Mm-hmm.
And in army, you know the statement of command and control, but in army, they call it managing chaos. And in order to be able to manage chaos, it is the ability, your ability, that you have built trust and loyalty. So you do build trust and loyalty before you go to war. So you keep building trust with your team in a corporate world or in entrepreneurship. You keep building the trust and loyalty because once you're in war and I shout at you and I tell you, go do this and that, you do it without asking why, because you trust my decision, you trust my direction, and I don't even have the time
to
in the chaos to justify that. So that's why I love to take a lot of things from the army perspective. What's habits and routines do you have that you can say it contribute to your success?
So my routine is, I will look, it's mainly about the family. Okay, I believe that part of my success today is because of my family. I wouldn't say success, but part from the peace that I live in here today is being with my family, support. I always, every day, I go and talk to my mother, always take her advice and ask her about many things. My father, the same. My sister also, my brother, my wife, definitely. She's always my supporter. Anything, when I feel down also, I go and speak with her. She is always supportive. So my routine is building this, keeping this rapport with my family, because nothing will inspire you really in life when you're down except the people around you.
I do respect that very much. You know, because the majority, when you talk to people and then ask them what's your routine and habits and whatever, I wake up in the morning and I do XYZ, I drink a bottle of water, do my prayers and do the workout. But I do really appreciate this and I respect it very much. Family is very important, and it's actually the backbone.
It's the grace from God, and without them you will never be anything. And I keep always reflecting, I'm here today because of them.
It's absolutely no.
And you cannot be successful in life by yourself. 90-80% because of the contribution from others. No, I don't believe that, you know, I'm a self-made successful. This is not self-made
bullshit. True.
We're not living alone here. We're not living alone. No.
True.
We got from experience, we got from support, we got this from people around us. even from the agonies that we have.
Absolutely. Totally agree and totally respectful that the family rituals that you have, it's the contributor to your success. It's actually something that I do respect very much. I am I would say, I love reading. And I believe that reading, and I don't label people who reads and don't read, doesn't matter. Like, you get the information the way you want to get it. But I'm a strong believer in reading and how it expands your context. Tell me what kind of books, or what top two books, Ahmed, that changed Ahmed's life or mindset even.
I love Poor Dad, Rich Dad. Robert Kiyosaki is amazing. The way that I looked at life and even treating money is totally different. Literally different. Because we raised up in an environment that savings is about everything. We are good on savings, but we are very bad on managing money.
True.
And
I will interrupt you here.
Sure.
I will interrupt you here. Because the whole world, let me say it loudly, the whole world push you to save. Example, put your money in the bank to save.
Interest.
Put your money in the bank to save. But what the bank does
is moving your money.
It's taking the money and investing it on your behalf.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
That's a great, I would say, misconception or a myth about saving. And the poor and rich dad, of course.
And it's the same, it doesn't matter if you take like $1,000 as an income or you take $100,000 as an income.
True.
It's the compound growth. Absolutely. If you get like saving of 500 and you put it somewhere and you invest it somewhere, this 500 will bring another 500 and it will be compound growth. So after time, this 500 will be 50,000. It's not just about constraining yourself about the income that you have. It's about the mindset also, how you treat money. We are raised like this.
Absolutely.
Save money, keep it till the end of your life, and then have your insurance and the end of your service.
Pension.
Leave.
Thank you very much. Pension gone. True. True.
Yes.
That's a great book. What's another one?
The Power of Now.
Oh,
The Power of Now.
True.
I reached to a point in my life that in anxiety and depression sometimes, because we're entrepreneurship, it was attacking my life. And when I dig deep inside this book, I found a lot of things in our mind that we don't take care of it, or just we don't monitor it. We're always wired that we're either focusing on the past, okay, and getting too much negative emotions from it because of negative thoughts, because of negative situations, and at the same time projecting these negative thoughts that it will happen in the future, and we keep worrying. But the reality is that we are living in now. If you want really to get over your anxiety, live in the present.
True.
Which is the only moment reality is the present now. So sometimes when I feel anxiety, one of the techniques that I use it, when I feel depressed, when I feel frustrated, when I feel there is some negative emotions around me, I start to look around the world around me. So I start to focus on details to come in the reality, in the real world. So
at the moment,
the sun, how it looks like, the sky and the trees around me, how I'm driving the car, how I still have hand here, I'm healthy. I start to look at my life with the grace that I have had, and I come into the moment and I reshuffle my mindset. So coming back into the power of now, it's amazing.
It's an amazing book.
It's amazing.
True. Okay. If we, being in the late 30s, what kind of advice would you give to your younger self?
I will move in the same track that I have, but yes. But I would say, look, the people, for me, they were two sources. Source of my inspiration and source of my depression and frustration.
Correct.
But I learned one thing. I learned how to rely on myself. So the source of frustration for me got away. And people for me now are source of my inspiration. So if I come back and give advice for the young me, rely on yourself. Don't rely on people.
True.
Ask for help, but don't rely.
Nice one. We live in a world that everybody likes to speak and everybody likes to give advice. So what kind of advice do you kind of frequently hear, but you always disagree with it? And it's an advice, it's coming an advice. Ahmed, do this, this, this. But you deep inside, it's absolutely bull.
You mean from family or from people?
Whatever. There are a lot of advices which is like, save. That's an advice.
So, if you ask me this question, I would say that people tell me why you're doing what you're doing. And people ask me, did you generate money from what you're doing? We see that you are doing a lot of things. What's the source of your income? Do that, return back to what you're doing. Why you're not focusing on this? But it's not none of your business.
Absolutely.
It's mine. And I don't need to justify. I don't need to tell you it's my life. If you are giving me something, or if you owe me something, or I owe you something, please tell me. But I keep saying that I'll keep doing what I'm doing, regardless what's happening, because I told you I don't rely on anyone right now. I ask for help, definitely, because this is the part from the journey. But I don't rely on anybody. I ask for help, and once I got reliance on myself, I always find a way.
Totally agree. Self-responsibility is the key. Let's smooth things down a little bit. Tell me, and share it with the guys watching us, what kind of talent or a skill that you have hidden that nobody knows?
Okay, so I'm actor.
You do act?
Yes, and comic.
Comic. We
I
have it in our blood.
Yes, always. It's moving here,
Sarcastic, making fun, making jokes.
Definitely. And at the beginning, when I started on LinkedIn, I start like one of the episodes. It's just series on how to build failed innovation successfully, and it was very sarcastic at the beginning. So I played many characters, and I connected with people with a story. So I played like the character of marketing, sales, and finance and supply chain. I played those, and I just characterized a relatable story inside the companies, and I just play this character between them and the situation, the stories, and give them values. So I love to act, and in a comic way, sarcastic way.
Will you take it? Will you take it professionally, or you're keeping it as your hobby?
No, but literally, I'm in a discovery zone.
Nice.
And I keep saying that you have two things. Most people in life, they have two things. They have their power and they have their passion. And their power is the only thing that they know. And their passion is the thing that they love. Majority of people, they are stuck doing what they know because they don't know anything except it. And they're afraid to get like chance on the thing that they love.
Passion about.
And if they give this chance, their life will change. But people are afraid.
What do you think? Let me ask you this question. There are a lot of researches and talks about what you're passionate about is what you're good at. You can be a great actor and you're not passionate about. You can be a great accountant if you're not passionate about. So a lot of articles and research been done in this particular field and said like, okay, if you want to discover your passion, be a master in one thing, and that would be your passion. What do you think about this?
I have another philosophy, totally philosophy. I developed like a philosophy called the 3 Ps. Okay. And I was thinking, what are the common things for the most influential and successful people in this life? You have 3 circles of Ps. You have circle of power, you have circle of passion, and you have circle of purpose. And actually, what is the power? As I said, it's the something that you are having maybe experience and you know too much. And the passion is that thing that you're doing where you don't feel the time. And purpose is how you combine those 2 things and serve people. So the most influential people, when you have an intersection for the circle of purpose, circle of power, circle of passion, there is an intersection of that. If their passion is intersected with their power and by their passion and power, they are serving people. They are the most influential.
Absolutely. That's the more of the Japanese Kiyagi thing moves in this direction as well.
Could be.
But the passion, the topic is extremely wide. And what I like is everybody, you have an opinion and perspective about something. Just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to sit and try to find your passion. You can develop it. Or if you're a guy that you want to think that passion will come by trying many things, then do try many things. Just don't sit on the fence and say like, I don't know what is my passion. I don't know what to do. Pick a path. Find the thing that you love, either by becoming a master in it or try many things until you find one.
It's not easy, by the way,
Absolutely.
to find your passion. But some people, they come and ask me, how can I find my passion? And there is nothing, ideal to tell you that this is your passion, because your passion, it's inside you. But we can help you asking the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as this. What is that thing that you are doing? And when you're doing it, you don't feel the time. This status flow. You don't feel anything around you. So this thing, if you are doing, if you find it, and maybe it's something out of your, understanding, but you have to track yourself. You have to understand yourself. You have to be self-aware about
the
things.
first thing I like to say is what? Move it. Move it. A lot of people just sit on the couch, sit on the chair and say like, okay, can you help me find my passion? Okay, stand up first. Stand up. Go do something, and then when you do it, come back and talk. So the first thing is to take an action. And as
inside, everything's inside.
And absolutely, as what he said, Tony Robbins, whatever you do, make a massive action towards it.
100%.
And that's the way to find it. What excites you the most about being in the Alpha Talks show, and what kind of advice you would like to end this talk or conversation with? Advice to the people. What kind of advice?
My advice is, don't be stuck in doing things that you don't like. And don't just listen for people, and listen for your heart. Sometimes you have to listen your heart more than your mind, because your heart will liberate you. We have been wired because maybe the outer world, the way that we raised our core beliefs, that whatever life gives us, we accept. But sometimes you have to be the patriot of your life. You have to ask the right questions. You have to not settle down, for less. You have to be the best version of yourself. And asking yourself the quality of the questions that you ask yourself, it will change drastically your life. Last but not least, surround yourself with the right-minded people, because they will affect your life.
Totally agree, and totally on point. Absolutely agree. So before we finish today's, I would say, episode or conversation, we have a ritual here in the Alpha Talks show. We have a book or a memoir. It's called the Alpha Talks Memoir. And this is simply, I would say, from the Alpha sitting on this chair, which is you have to do 3 things.
Please.
So number 1 is to write in it, and there's a pen with it, is to write in it your experience in the show and being part of the Alpha Talks. The second is who an Alpha guest next you would recommend that will inspire our audience, will impact our audience. So you need to write these 2 things. And the third, which is the most important, is I want you to write down a question to the next Alpha guest that will come, but the guest will not know that you wrote this question. So it's going to be something like there is nothing to worry about, but a particular question to the next guest. And this is a way that we do, is to make our Alpha guests connect together, even if they don't know each other. So I would like you to do these 3 things in this Alpha memoir, the Alpha Talks memoir. But before you start to do it, there is a question from the previous Alpha you need to answer. So the previous Alpha asked the question, which is, what was the happiest moment in your life so far?
The happiest moment. You want to be honest?
Yeah.
Knowing you.
Pooh. That's a real alpha and a real brother. That's the real
Knowing you,
alpha.
really.
Appreciate it, brother. Seriously.
I really appreciate hosting me, really.
It's a pleasure.
And I believe this episode, it will inspire a lot of people, not just because of us, but I think we speak from heart.
Absolutely.
Which is very authentic. People will understand this. People will understand also the energy. And I love the way that you just ask the question. It comes from heart. So I'm sure 100% with Alpha Talks, this podcast will be one of the biggest podcasts around the world.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ahmed. It's a pleasure having you today.
Thank you.
And I hope that you enjoyed this conversation
1000%.
as much as I did, and I'm sure as much as the audience did.
That wraps another inspiring episode of today's show. I hope that this episode has ignited your inner alpha. Remember, alphas aren't born, they're made. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the Alpha Talks on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review and share the podcast with your fellow alphas. Until next time, stay bold, stay driven, and stay alpha.